Hi guys, welcome to this review. It's a short and quick review on my soldering station, soldering station accessories, soldering accessories, because this is completely homemade and it is a really useful tool for the soldering station. I'm gonna get my station new one from online over here and in a week. So before that, I have planned to build all these accessories. If you like, just you can also build one or just like this, well, one soldering station maybe. All right, so this is not exactly the temperature controlling station, but the extra holders which makes your soldering tasks easy, pretty much easy. So let me start off with this sponge over here. As you can see, this one, I've got this brass sponge which is really helpful in cleaning the soldering iron. So it's basically used for tinning your tip. Say, just imagine this one as your soldering iron, and you have all these wet solders, I mean, like hot solders sticking onto this, and you don't want to put this straight away in your board. Otherwise, if you're gonna put the same thing, I'm gonna show you what happens if you do that with an unclean or dirty tip. So when you're tinning your tip, you need to put some solder there and just wipe it off. This is an alternative for a wet sponge, but I really suggest this because it removes pretty much all the dirt particles except micro ones. All right, so the motion depends on the type of that you have, the amount of. If you have a little one, all you need to do just insert it and take it out. If you have a lot of dirt over here, you need to just wipe it off. Like, you need to have this linear kind of motion which goes vertical as well as horizontal in the sponge. So it's not necessary that you need to exactly do what I've shown you. It depends on you and your logic how you're going to use it up. But I really recommend you to just insert it and take it out while small soldering tasks. So this is just an insertable one into my new um, homemade sponge holder. So now I have this one over here, and it's pretty dirty over here because it's old. So now, as you can see, I'm gonna explain this one in detail. But here you can see this is the wet sponge, and inside you can see the brass sponge, which is just this one. But what I've done, I've just fluxed it a bit. I've took some flux paste in the pasted form, and I've just dripped it all over there. If you have a solid flux, no problem, just melt it with your soldering iron, take it with a like a picker, something like that, and then you can just drop it on top. So this is well fluxed. So I've done this because I don't need to every time dip my soldering iron inside flux to clean it. All right, and to make it more durable. So this is the wet sponge, and say this is my soldering iron again. I'm gonna with all these dirty particles, just wipe it on over here. So what this hole does is, you can see a gap in between. That's really helpful in cleaning the solder, as you have a holder. Right, so when you do this, whatever solder particles or any waste materials would fall off into this big um ground, and this one would suck it in. Right, and you can clean it by just removing it. Now you might have a problem understanding the basic logic behind this one. As you know, I've just placed this plastic covering in order to not get the sponge extremely wet. As you can see, some pieces of flux over there. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick this one up. Right, I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna wipe all these flux inside. So when I do that, I need to make sure I don't waste any of these flux, because flux is pretty expensive. So now I have, as you can see, some like bumps here and there. So guys, I really recommend you to buy something like this, because not exactly the same. You can make one of, make one with just this case you need to have. It's really, this one is really compact and really protective. Now you need to make sure this doesn't dry out by just covering it up. All right. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually remove the last piece, which is really essential in soldering tasks. Right. So now I have this soldering holder. So I mean soldering lead holder. So what this can do, I've just got these two screwdrivers for some additional work if needed during soldering. So what this is basically for keeping my circuit board as well as just one, as well as soldering all these tasks because I've left some space over here. There's some blank white space there. That's for basically keeping my workpiece and just just getting on. So therefore, this is basically your essential tool, which will be really helpful for you in solving. Yes, I just went to get this small Arduino Nano, so it'll be really easy to explain to you guys like, what's this basically used for. All right, now you can see this one, this shorted board, which just indicates an LED when power is supplied. This is the type of reverse soldering example of reverse soldering which I've done for these materials. Maybe you can't see it clearly. No problem. I'm posting a photo on this. Right. So this is the kind of work which should not be done. And with the help of these materials, it makes your soldering task really precise and easy. Now, as you can see, these things are pretty much replaceable. This one is replaceable. This lead holder, you can just simply remove the small piece, just remove it and just change it. Now the reason why I haven't kept this one over here, because this one already blocks it. Now to remove it, it's a pretty much more tough task for this guy because he's stuck here and there. What you need to do, just put a extra pressure and there you go. So once you use it, just again once you're gonna replace it and you have the new one, just pretty much bring it closer and fit it in. And this is not gonna get out that easily while you're rotating or actually taking some time. So now here's the space for you to solder, so you can put your fine firing iron here and there, and just actually more precise and a flat surface, which would be really helpful. But I would recommend you to have some clips to clip this on. This is highly recommended in a modern style. And pretty much I used a pen cap, which is really efficient, and you can just it's really strongly glued. It's strongly glued up there, so it's really strong and you can't put it out. So you can use a bit of hot glue. Now I used the long cartridge one, the fat one, right? So that becomes more strong. So I would recommend you to do something like this to make your soldering tasks done. Just getting back to the review, we have this sponge here, which is helpful in soldering. So brass sponge, unfluxed, but this is fluxed, and that's my alarm clock going there. And over here, some screwdrivers, which would be helpful. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll be doing a quick review on the new soldering station arriving next week. Stay in touch. Bye. Please subscribe for these things.